There are a lot of different types of soda. There's soda pop, there's soda cracker, there's Minnesota, but none of those really go with our Irish dish that we made, like soda bread. Now let's go back a little history and say, why soda bread? Why don't they use frickin' yeast like the rest of the world? Well, back in Ireland, back in the day, they had very particular type of wheat that they grew, and it didn't react really well with the yeast. And then in the 1800s, when bicarbonate of soda showed up, you put these things together, and you had yourself some tasty soda bread. And the cool thing about soda bread, it's easy. So I'm going to start with my flour here. I got 4 cups of flour. I'm going to put a tablespoon or a teaspoon of salt in, and a teaspoon of baking soda. This is where the name of the whole thing comes from. This is important. This is the baking soda. I'm going to put this in here, and for the first time ever, I love it when we get to the point we use new tools. And this isn't a new tool. This is an old sifter. It was actually my grandmother's sifter. I am going to sift this into here, mix up the salt and the soda a little bit, and put this in here and see what kind of mess I can make. And while you're making a mess, you might want to think about going to cooklikeabastard.com, where you can find copies of all of our shows, promos, and even buy a little t-shirt or something for whoever, probably you, because you are our #1 fan. Thank you. So we're sifting this because it really is good for the wrist. It builds up endurance. And when you're thinking about Irish food, you're thinking about endurance. It may seem like only a couple of seconds passed for you, but that's the magic of television. We've been sifting for a couple minutes here, but we want to make sure everything's nicely sifted up. Nothing like sifting to make you a hearty gentleman. So I'm going to add some buttermilk to this. I have 14 ounces of buttermilk. And you're going to want to add this slowly as you start to mix it up. And I'm going to initially mix it up in here. And it's kind of fun, especially if you like a mess, because this ends up being kind of a mess. You're going to see that I have soda bread gloves coming on pretty soon. So you start to mix this up in the bowl till you get a certain consistency to it. Then you can start working on it on the countertop, which is a lot more fun. So once you got the preliminary mix there, take just a little bit of flour here, put it on your countertop. And you just dump your dough out on the counter. Then we're going to finish this process. Believe me, it does come together. I've actually done this before. It looks like it's not going to get there. So your soda bread traditionally is cooked over a flame in a pot called a bastible. Now, we don't have a bastible here, so we're going to have to cook like a bastible. Yeah, I know. Hey, we're going to be using my Dutch oven here. I have my Le Creuset Dutch oven, which is going to work really great. And it's not going to be over a flame because it's an electric convection oven. But all the things will work, and we'll end up with a delicious piece of soda bread when we're done here. We work it and work it and make sure we get this whole thing together. It's important not to overwork it at the same time. So when you get it together, you're done, because you don't want to have all the soda desodify so soon, because it's actually doing a little desodification. I don't know if you knew that or not. So you got this nice ball here, and now in my Dutch oven, I have put a little olive oil and flour on the bottom here. So I'm going to put the bread in here, take my knife, then I'm going to cut in half, a little slice in here, across, then go across like this. And when it cooks, you'll be surprised, as it is going to easily break into four pieces. So we're going to cook this with the cover on at 425 degrees for a half hour, and then we take the cover off and cook it for another 15 minutes. Hey, I got these things on. Must mean I'm about to touch something hot, which must mean that the soda bread is done. Well, will you take a look at that? That is some nice looking soda bread. Well, the real test of good soda bread is make sure that it's hollow underneath. And that's the sound you're looking for here on Cook.
He's not
Ow! This is hot. Like a bastard.
Don't miss that little something and cook like a bastard today.